It could have some serious implications for international wheat exports. Both Japan and South Korea have temporarily cut wheat trade with the U.S. as a result.
And if you promise not to use the word stupid, then I won't use the word fascist.
That say that they contain genetically modified wheat. And I wanted to ask if you know anything about that or can confirm if that's the case.
It was just because he was out doing a presentation selling a dietary supplement, and then he...
And that's exactly the way that we start things off here. I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Kendra Cooper.
It is so good to be at work today because we're talking about the solutions that are going to change the world. We right now have on our sights the food industry and the way that things are changing around the world as far as...
the most evil corporation in the world.
We're taking on Monsanto. And, well, not specifically Monsanto, but we're doing some cool stuff. And let's run a clip.
Heated debate over genetically modified food has received more fuel after a recent discovery that it was found illegally growing in Oregon. It could have some serious implications for international wheat exports. Both Japan and South Korea have temporarily cut wheat trade with the U.S. as a result. And the European Union sent notifications to all of its member nations advising them to test imported wheat, as no country in the world, including the U.S., allows its commercial distribution. The company released a statement saying while the test results were not expected, the Roundup Ready trait is probably very limited and there are no known food, feed, or environmental safety concerns associated with it. But the fact that it isn't known is the main concern for much of the opposition to genetically modified foods.
There's not hard evidence that genetically modified crops are safe for human consumption because they've never really been tested that way.
It could also put Monsanto in a tough position for the simple fact that the wheat wasn't supposed to be growing there in the first place. It partially backs up a claim by food safety advocates that genetically modified crops aren't easy to control outside of the laboratory. Regardless, it puts Oregon wheat farmers in a tough position. The wheat harvest pulls in $300 to $500 million per year for the state, and 90% is from exports. Monsanto could also be liable for the damages, meaning tables have turned on the company, which has won 146 straight court cases against U.S. farmers, who they accused of violating farming agreements by planting second harvests of their patented seeds without paying a contract-mandated technology fee. Monsanto is still testing the genetically modified wheat in labs, though it said recently it doesn't expect the crop to be FDA approved for another decade.
Now, you'd think there'd be a huge wake-up call with all of the agriculture in Canada about this, but did you hear it on major media?
No, I did not.
Not one word on the fact that GMO wheat is getting banned and that the Americans' major breadbasket export is now under fire.
Yep.
Thank you to a major corporation for bringing us that. Of course, we're going to jump in on the food nightmare right now and make sure that you're informed so when you get out and make signs, you know what you're talking about, especially when you're talking to the naysayers.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Who's your favorite fascist?
Which one? Kevin O'Leary. In my opinion, he's the number one fascist in the entire country. Don Cherry a close second.
Yeah.
Of course, he's our answer to Donald Trump. Well, he's on the side of GMOs.
My name is Rachel Parent. I'm 14 years old, and I've been fighting GMOs for a long time. I want to respond to Mr. Kevin O'Leary's idiotic statement about stupid people protest against Monsanto. While on the Lang and O'Leary show, which aired on CBC May 27th, Kevin O'Leary said to all of us, and I quote, "I have an answer to these people. Stop eating. Then we can get rid of them." Well, I challenge you, Mr. O'Leary, to have me on your show next week, and if you promise not to use the word stupid, then I won't use the word fascist. We can just talk about the real issues of GMOs here in Canada. That's my challenge to you, sir. That's my challenge, and my challenge to CBC right now and right here. Do you accept? Thank you.
So I wonder if we're going to hear back from Mr. O'Leary if he'll accept that challenge.
Yeah. I mean, all Kevin O'Leary has is outrageous statements that keep him on TV.
And, you know, pander to the fascists amongst us, right?
Exactly.
He has no problem with slave labor. He has no problem with Walmart. And he certainly has no problem with Monsanto.
Well, you know, he could take on a new job. He could go run Guantanamo Bay.
Well, he'd fit right in there.
Yeah.
Stop eating, right? You know, they're on a hunger strike.
He lost all credibility. The CBC and the financial show, the Langan and O'Leary exchange, lost all credibility internationally when they called Chris, what's his name? Chris Hedges.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that.
A right-wing
Yeah.
nut bar or a left-wing nut bar to his face.
Yeah.
And Hedges looks at him and goes, you know what? The CBC used to be journalism. It used to have some credibility.
Yeah.
This is the last time ever talking to you.
Oh
and
my
the fact
God.
that O'Leary kept his job after that, that was amazing.
It was outrageous.
Yeah.
okay. And, of course, you know, fascism is us. That's exactly what he promotes all the time. But we will stop calling him a fascist if he stops calling us stupid.
Exactly. Speaking of stupid, Kraft Foods, well, they're having a little problem with GM products as well.
Do tell.
Your call is very important to us. As a part of our commitment to quality, this call may be monitored or recorded for delicious recipes, cooking tips, and more. How can I assist you?
Yes, I'm going to be recording this call. I just wanted to ask, there's a video going around on the internet that shows labels for your macaroni and cheese that are being imported to other countries from America that say that they contain genetically modified wheat. And I wanted to ask if you know anything about that or can confirm if that's the case.
I can definitely go ahead and assist you with that. Do you happen to have a barcode number or anything like that, or are you just speaking in general?
It's in general. There's video that's showing that consumers in the UK, when they go into grocery stores and they buy imported boxes of Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, that there's a label on the back of these boxes that says that the product may contain genetically modified wheat. And we don't have that here because we don't have labeling laws in America, but do you know if the product contains genetically modified wheat?
I can definitely go ahead and look that up. Do you mind if I place you on a brief hold while I research that for you?
No problem.
Thank you. Hello, ma'am?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for holding. I apologize about the delay. As far as if Kraft uses any kind of genetically engineered ingredients, some crops grown in the U.S., such as corn or soy, have been enhanced using biotechnology. So some of our products do contain biotech ingredients from these crops. Kraft products are in full compliance with all relevant regulations. For the few products that we may license outside of the U.S. and Canada, decisions on whether or not to use biotech ingredients would be made on a market by market basis and depend on our understanding of consumer preferences, national regulations, labeling requirements, and production and distribution factors. The thing is that here in the United States, we do not have the exact information if the wheat is genetically modified in the macaroni and cheese. All I can tell you, and the only information we have here, would be that, yes, we do use it in some of our products, but I cannot say for sure whether it is in the macaroni and cheese.
So when you're shopping, I urge you to use the Soldiers in Vietnam experience. In Vietnam, American soldiers went over and they discovered that 32 out of 37 varieties of snake in the jungle was poisonous to mankind.
Huh.
So they said, well, there's no way to really tell what's poisonous and what's not, so maybe avoid all snakes.
Yeah.
Might be a good idea,
Yeah.
Kraft openly admitting they have no idea.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Especially there might be genetically modified wheat, but it's illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's illegal, and it hasn't been studied. We know scientists have not studied this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, the continuing genetic experiment on your body goes in with that KD, mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I want my Kraft dinner back. I want my cornflakes back.
Yeah.
I want to know that they're safe again. But since I quit eating those things, I've gotten healthier.
Yes, I know. And speaking of eating, things you should avoid.
Oh, my gosh. Check this out.
Here's why you should avoid McDonald's.
Well, how about reaching into your coat pocket and finding an old hamburger that's 14 years old? It really happened to a man in southern Utah. Ladd Egan live in St. George with more on this amazing preservation story. And let's start with the first basic question. Why was this hamburger in the guy's coat pocket?
It was just because he was out doing a presentation selling a dietary supplement, and then when he was done, he wrapped the hamburger back up in its wrapper and in the bag and put it in its pocket, and that's where it stayed for a good long time.
July 7th, 1999.
1999.
The budget is balanced.
Bill Clinton was president. Genie in a Bottle was #1. And the looming Y2K disaster had the world worried. It's also the year this hamburger was born on a grill in Logan, Utah.
I bought it for 79 cents.
David Whipple kept the burger around for a few weeks as a prop to sell diet supplements.
I mean, it looked as good a month out as it did the day I bought it.
He soon forgot about it, wrapped up,
One right there.
and stuffed away in this coat pocket. The family, with burger tagging along, moved to St. George, where the coat sat in this closet for years.
Well, I thought there'd be some mold.
Until one day, Whipple's wife checked the pocket and couldn't believe it.
No fungus, no mold, no smell.
Besides the pickle,
Color looks great.
it looked the same.
It freaks people out. They absolutely can't believe it looks that good.
Find out what's behind the hamburger that just won't die.
This is a mummified hamburger.
We asked executive chef Paulo Blazer at Dixie State University.
It dried so fast that there was no way that the bacteria or mold could grow into it and make it nasty.
What's going to happen to this thing?
Whipple says he's not getting rid of the perfectly mummified King Tut burger anytime soon.
Maybe I'll take it on vacations and travel around the world showing it off to everybody.
So I'm smarter than fungus. I won't eat McDonald's.
I just can't believe you couldn't it just didn't smell.
Yeah.
If it was real food, you would smell that rotting. The meat,
Yes.
especially.
And you put sandwiches in your anywhere, real sandwiches, not made with Wonder Bread or stuff like that, and they're molding now. It's not a case of it dried too fast or anything like this.
No.
When it's real, it gets mold on it because we have so much bacteria in the air.
Yeah, well, if bugs won't eat it, I won't eat it.
Yeah. A friend of mine up in Vernon has a Wonder Bread, a piece of Wonder Bread that he leaves out in the forest.
Yeah.
And it's been out there for a couple of years just to show people that bugs, bacteria, and fungus will not eat Wonder Bread.
The earth won't even take it. The
I
earth
know.
is like, no way.
So fungus is more intelligent than
most people.
Well, yeah.
The entire McDonald's corporation. Number 2 employer on the planet behind the Pentagon. But kids.
Yes, it was a recent shareholders meeting.
Oh, do tell.
9-year-old Hannah Robertson has a passion for healthy eating.
Do you want to know the secret to getting your kids to eat fruits and veggies?
But Hannah's taking that message from YouTube to a larger audience, McDonald's headquarters in Illinois.
Something that I don't think is fair is when big companies try to trick kids into eating food that isn't good for them by using toys and cartoon characters.
At Thursday's shareholder meeting, she grilled CEO Don Thompson.
Mr. Thompson, don't you want kids to be healthy so they can live a long and happy life?
Thompson stood up to the heat, citing the fast food giant's healthier options like apple slices and salads.
First off, we don't sell junk food. We sell a lot of fruits and veggies at McDonald's and are trying to sell even more.
Hannah wasn't exactly impressed.
I don't think he answered it very well because he just kept saying the same things. We don't market to kids and we don't sell junk food.
But Hannah has her own critics who point out she had a lot of adult help. She and her mom traveled with an advocacy group called Corporate Accountability International, which campaigns against McDonald's marketing.
Magic McNuggets.
Still, Hannah says her message about fruits and veggies comes from the heart.
Well, I got to speak what I was thinking in my mind, and not that many people would get to do that.
Not bad for a 4th grader with a healthy dose of confidence.
Hannah has tried McDonald's, by the way, when she was 2 or 3 years old, but she says she doesn't remember if she liked it. She says she would go back if they make some serious changes to their menu.
I think McDonald's is sort of like a crack dealer selling condoms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we have salads.
And young Hannah is from our hometown of Kelowna, BC.
Yay, Hannah! Man, I got to get that girl on camera here. We're moving it, and we are suggesting people join Moms Against Monsanto. And remember, if you're going to Walmart or McDonald's, please vote with your paycheck. Don't.
Yeah.
Okay? Just avoid it.
Franchise-free Fridays, baby.
You know it. It's coming up right here. We're going to solve problems in the world right here in Kelowna, just like a young little girl did. I'm so impressed with her. I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Kendra Cooper.
Oh, stick around because we got massive more shows coming up here, and we are going to be talking about what?
Got Police State?
Got Police State? Yeah, we do. Right here, Radio Free Canada, keeping the revolution going. Thanks for joining us.